Should really probably rule this stuff before I start streaming. This is sort of a boring thing to watch. Okay, so I am. Oh, 1 second. So it is the bone costume moon night today for Wadley, if he's watching. Which means I need to again try to find the look my old drawings. Let me see the moonlight. Nice issue. That was issue 3, I think. Yeah, just open the whole thing. Right, so okay, this is the bone costume from my Moon Knight run. This is the second last commission I have for C2E2, which I'm leaving on Thursday for, and I have lots of work to do in the meantime. So this, I might end up doing like a super late stream the night before if I'm feeling particularly nuts. We'll see. But this is potentially the last stream for a few weeks. He was saying they're pretty time consuming, but feel free to try talk me into to keep doing them. Because if anything, I will respond to peer pressure. Hey Wadley, Mike David, how you doing, man? So yeah, finally caught on who you were. Well, this is for you. I feel like I'm a musician. This one's going out to David. Are you still seeing that really nice lady who was at C2E2 a couple of years ago? Oh, thanks, Zombie Priest. Appreciate it. Yeah, Moon Knight did well for me, I must say. Oh, yes, Lindsay. Oh, okay. She will be there again this year. Oh, great. She was very, very nice. Although I'm not going to say anything mean now, am I? Lindsay, God, she was the worst. Nah, she was very nice. Do you do C2E2 every year, David? Or how many shows do you do? Is there any Moon Knighty people left for you to see? Because I know you've met Smallwood and everything. Try to go to C2 every year. Skipped a few years back to go to Seattle for Emerald City Comic Con. Hard to do both. Yeah. I was the same. It's where Emerald City is a lot more commitment. Traveling from Dublin, the C2E2 is a little bit easier. It's like a bit, just a bit further than New York, so it's not as intimidating a trip. But looks like everyone had a great time in Emerald City this year, though. But yeah, I'm sure it is hard to do both. A friend of mine suggested maybe trying to do a road trip next year of going over and doing both shows, which would be fun. So I'm thinking of maybe having his cape twist around here like the moon, but I don't want it to compete with his beak. We'll see. Oh, actually, that's kind of cool. Might do that. As the fun with Moon Knight is his cape. Hey Mark, how's it going, man? Haven't seen you here in a while. I assume you had a life for the last while? Unlike this guy. Yeah, I think I've got something here. Okay, so let me clean it up a bit though. Hey Harry, how you doing? Oh, Mark, yeah, of course, bank holiday. Happy St. Paddy's Day to you all. Tura, Laura, etc. I'm just doing a light rub off. I shouldn't be laughing at my own joke. Yeah. Oh, I just realised what I said and how it sounded. I think we could all enjoy a light rub off, right? Sure. To mind us here, we're all just enjoying a rub off. I find that sometimes if I'm doing sketches at conventions, I'll be like, oh, where's my rubber? And then I realise that it might sound to Americans. Not looking for a condom. I'm good. Glad you're all laughing too. Oh, that might need to just do it. Give it a once over. Jesus Christ! Every fucking term I'm going to use now is just going to be tainted. Some kind of sexual undertone.
Hey, it's your fault you did it.
That's true, and yeah, it is my fault. Yeah, Kirby. That's my love life. It's all rub offs. I'm just gonna stop talking. Do you know that bit where I ask people to ask me questions? No, that's done. That's finished. Whatever gets me to shut up now is the smartest thing. Let's get a bit look at that costume. Hey, Jeremy. Sorry if I said hi to Jeremy. I'm not sure. Where was oh yeah, reference. There's that mad costume I drew. There she goes. Right. Well, no, I think I don't think you're going to need gloves. To be fair, you can see exactly where my hands are, so I should just. I guess I'm going to have to do that from now on, just so people know everything's clean. Hi, Minsk. Mark, was there an element of I only have to draw it for one issue when he designed it? There was an element of it. No, I don't think so. Really, being honest, like the other costume was kind of. I mean, this was more Warren's thing. Like I had a different version of this that was more simplified. Well, it's not that it was just simple. It was my first take, and Warren said more crazy, so I just went more crazy. Any costume design, I'm always consider the fact that it needs to be it'll need to be redrawn by the artist again and again and again. So I always try to be mindful of that. But with this, I think I just went all out. Actually, like I think I've said it here before. One of the main goals of Moon Knight was to make an uncosplayable costume, which turned out to not work because then all these ridiculous, become weird costumes got made into cosplay. So shows me. Oh, yeah. Giant fucking bird skull was it alright? Although that might have been for Conchu himself. I think that might have even been for issue 1. You can imagine what that script was like to read. He does what? He goes where? Who talks to him? When designing character suit, how do you balance readability, iconography, and also keeping it fresh and flashy? Those are good questions, David. Very good questions. Well, I guess simplicity is number one, I would say, in general, or at least if it's not simple, then being able to break it down into basic shapes. Because it's not just drawing it as a character this size, it's going to be drawing it like the back of it, the front of it, the side of it from far away. And the more complicated it gets, then the harder it is to read. So for me, if you can read it as a silhouette, it's good. That's why pardon me. It's why with the Moon Knight superhero costume, I added so much black to it, because I found that all the white was a bit overpowering. And even with this costume, with the inside of the cape, I would darken it so that he would pop more from it. I think too much of one thing is it's a bit overwhelming sometimes. But and I find iconography is good too. Like Moon Knight has his crescent moon, Batman has his bat. Something that's readable and that can identify the character from far away. That's why I gave Nick Fury that symbol, kind of like the adjustment of the shield symbol. Just again, whatever can make somebody recognizable from a distance. And you can do things that are simple and that look like. Drawing piping is a good thing for me. I like drawing stuff that'll cut through the form, so that if a character is making different gestures, the lines help with the shapes. That's why I'll do kind of seams where I can. But it also depends on the character too, David, I feel some characters have so many tiny details are hard to remember for different artists, and the suit can change issue to issue. That's definitely the case. I mean, I'm doing a Ghost Rider cover at the moment, and a Cosmic Ghost Rider cover. Excuse me. I spent ages just trying to find consistent reference, because so many different two artists have pretty much drawn him, and they both have slightly different takes, and then there's lots of variant artists who've drawn him, and they have different takes, so I couldn't really stick with one thing. I had to figure out how I was going to do it myself. Don't like this leg. Doesn't really read as if it's coming forward, so I'm going to put it back down. As a result, I'm going to move that. Do a life out on those feet. Just trying to figure out these shapes of them. Interesting. Well, I'm guessing Marvel and DC don't produce style guides anymore. Marvel don't. I mean, they'll send you, they'll send you reference and stuff. But DC had a style guide for the New 52 stuff, but those are pieces of shit. They were all, one, nobody stuck with them anyway, but the designs were kind of cumbersome. So sometimes I know I just complained about not finding a decent reference for Cosmic Ghost Rider. At the same time, at least you could put your own spin on it and make it work with what you're drawing, which I think is a bit better than slavishly following someone else's take on it. That can be very inhibiting. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Then if it's 2, I feel like no one could agree if Batman's belt was black or yellow. Oh man, are you kidding me? It was supposed to be black, but nobody did it. So I remember because I I know someone who was coloring the main Batman book, and like the main Batman artist wasn't matching the actual design. So what are you gonna do? I know for myself, it was the belt was supposed to be black with gold trimming, but that's also very tough to draw. So I just made the belt black, and then kept the buckle gold. Because again, for me, simplifying, like drawing ridiculous like detail on belts is not helpful when you're trying to like tell a big long story, like with a character or multiple poses. You know, I think it's very in the way. But I mean, I'll always look to the design, like the first design is just to figure out exactly what it's supposed to be. So at least I can act in the spirit of what the design's supposed to be saying or looking like. Like I mean, I think I said gave this example last week when I was drawing the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the my Deadpool arc I did with Jerry Duggan. I think Jerome Opeña's Captain America was the prevailing design at the time, and I was just not drawing that. It was, for me, way too complicated. I mean, it looked great, and all credit to Jerome. It was a fantastic looking design, but it was so much like the movie costume, and I'm like, I'm not drawing a million seams. So I simplified it down into so it was like a more like Cap's original costume, but had all the like main detail of the main design of Jerome's, but kept it to the like I felt like the essence of the original costume, and that was a lot of fun to draw. I quite liked drawing that costume. And that sounds like an editorial problem. Weren't there rumours or there being a lot of that early in the New 52? Well, now, Minsk, I have to be a little careful what I say here. I think it's fair to say that the New 52 stuff was put together quite fast. Actually, wait, no, I can't say that because I wasn't involved in the New 52 at all. So maybe I, to be fair, actually don't know any of that, so I shouldn't say. Ew. Oh, thank you. Cheers.
I got some shortcakes as well.
Oh, you sexy son of a bitch.
I know, bitch, I know.
I already offended everybody in the live stream.
Oh, only 10 minutes in. That's a
Yeah,
good
it was less than, I'd say it was 2 minutes in. I was rubbing out the main drawing, and then I can't remember what I said, or something like just giving it a light rub off. And then I realised what I said and laughed straight for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, look, it is the boner armor. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, hey, it is the bone armor. Owen Marin is in the studio today. Say hi, Owen.
Hello.
There you go. Owen has a book coming out through Aftershock. What month is it out, Owen? May. That's 2 months away.
Yeah.
Called Killer Groove. You should all order it if you have not.
I paid him $10 to say that.
I actually haven't ordered. I should order it. I'm terrible for like oh, I'll get that when it comes out, and then I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make sure I do that.
Actually, shit, I need to find out what the FOC is.
It's generally 4 or 5 weeks before the book's out, so you probably have a bit of time, but not a lot. Both David and Kirby Crackle say hello.
Oh, hey.
And they know how to spell your name.
Hey, what?
They know how to spell your name.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
Oh, and Mark. That's his name.
Oh, cool.
Nobody else though. They don't like it.
Nah, that's fair enough. It wouldn't be wrong.
Oh, Harry, that's exactly the costume I was talking about, the Captain America cap one. I liked it, I just didn't want to fucking draw it. The overall design I liked, it was just that there was a lot of niggly detail in it that was just too much. So if you ever look at the Deadpool issues I did, you can see that I stuck with the actual overall design, but I just kind of simplified all the seams and this, that, and the other.
I didn't want to make too much noise anyway.
You failed in that mission, Owen.
I'll just leave this here for you. I don't know if I'll have an hour.
I'll find it there. Thanks, man. Oh, no. Cheers. I think I'm gonna start inking this soon because the lead's getting very leady. I tend to not want to ink stuff until it's all figured out. David, have you ever dressed up as this Moon Knight? I know you did the institutional one from Greg Smallwood, your favorite artist in the world, clearly. I've seen you in that one. I've seen some photos of people in bone costumes, but I've only ever seen two people. One kind of in passing and one in New York Comic Con last year, and it was savage. Well, Khonshu's still pretty impressive, I think. I disagree. I think you're very good. Harry, yes, absolutely. I would love to draw, to write and draw a cat book someday. Winter Soldier is my favorite of the Marvel films. Like, it's weird. I think the way, you know, raised here, all the Captain America stuff is very kind of like flag wavy and uncomfortable. But Brubaker's run, that kind of whole espionage approach to it, I really liked. Really, really liked. Although, you know, you don't want to just copy somebody else, but it's definitely something I could have fun with. That kind of like Nick Fury is Nick Fury's story I did is basically a kind of a Captain America story. Except I would make it all about Winter Soldier and Captain America loving each other. It's Greg Smallwood does a grainy thing with his colors. Never knew how he does that. I mean, you can. There's a. I do it with my colors too, but I keep it pretty subtle, or I try to anyway. Greg, he does a grainy thing with his line work too, so that might be okay. I haven't had a proper look at his colors because he's intimidatingly good. Well, the line work grainness is a grease pencil China marker. I thought he was doing that digitally though.
Yeah,
It's on his covers he uses that. That is it.
I don't know if it's covers or.
Well, it's Dave is saying, but I know Dave's definitely bought artwork with his. So
Yeah, that's right.
I'd say it's probably the covers he does with the China marker, and he does the sequentials with the digitally. Oh yeah, sorry, Dave just said, but mostly he works digital, so it's different brushes. Yeah, he doesn't work. He works with them so well. Like I hate digital, but I love what David does. Or sorry, I love what Greg does. Sorry, this is in the pencil stage so long. It's just there's a lot to figure out with this costume. Ink's pretty fast though, because I don't do any washes on the character when it's Moon Knight. Are there any artists you want to meet at C22, David, that you haven't met before? I know Kevin Nolan's at it. He was at Heroes the same year I was there last year, and I was going to go buy some pages, but I don't think he had any. He just does like commissions, and I weirdly don't want a commission from him. I want to buy some of his actual pages. Oh, hey, Michael. He did a very small amount of interior pages for Moon Knight, the grease pencil shading on them. Beautiful, I'm sure, yeah. Yeah, Craig Small was brilliant. Tell me something I don't know. And he's really nice, and he's really handsome. It's like, it's just not fair. I think him and who are the other super hunks? James Harren. He's gorgeous and really nice and amazingly talented. Ben Dewey. There's a a few out there. It's not fair. You're not allowed to be good like that good at three things: being nice, being talented, and super handsome. Oh, Owen Maron too, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Fucking bullshit. I don't mean that. Nolan Meir did the pages, which looked like a notebook in the Moonlight run. Yeah, I think so. David, most of the artists I want to see will be second time or so. That's cool. That's nice that you'll go see them second time. Declan, are you saying you're not a super hunk? Yes, Kirby, I'm absolutely saying that. Without a doubt. Mark, yeah, back in the day was John Romita Jr. and no one else. At least if Wizard was to be believed. Yeah, I'm sure Romita would still get it. Yeah, he used to. Yeah, he was always like he was the hunk. There's a few handsome lads in comics, which I don't mind. It's just that they're incredibly talented and really nice, and really handsome. One or the other is fine. If they were like okay and really nice and handsome, I could live with that. 2 out of 3 is fine. 3 out of 3 is just selfish and mean. And I don't appreciate it. And that has been our edition of rating the comic superhunks. Okay. Alright, David, this is the penciled piece. Is it cool to ink? Let me know. I'll just wait here. Yeah, Tommy Lee Edwards commissions have been actually they've always been savage. I just see him posting them more of them recently, and they're great. Most I want to see Andrew McLean. He's brilliant. Daniel Warren Johnson, also brilliant. Erica Henderson, also brilliant. Matt Wilson, also, yeah, you've got a good list there. All right then, I'll start over. Yeah, those are all great guys and really, really like good people too. David, you've good taste in artists and people. Present company excluded. Right.
Hey, Buffy. What are you doing?
I'm just tempted to show her every time.
That's because she's popular. She is popular, but if she's sitting there in like content, I don't want to like disrupt her. You know. She moves around, starts being a pain in the arse. I'll do it then. Ah, fuck you, Mark. You got a Tommy Lee Edwards Moon Knight. Son of a bitch. You know, Tommy is a big reason, I would say, why I sketch the way I do at conventions. I went to San Diego Comic Con years ago, and I saw him doing sketches. I think 1985 was out. Book he did with Mark Miller, and he was doing these sketches in the books. I'm like, oh cool, I must get one in mine. I brought mine over. And he was doing these drawings and then putting down a bit of grey wash them and then just deliberately smudging them. I remember my jaw dropped. I was like, what is he doing? I thought he was ruining it, but then I just saw he was just like making it. He was just experimenting. And that kind of hit a nerve with me because it was like convention drawing can just be a massive chore and a pain in the arse. And once I saw it could be an avenue to just like explore drawing a little or test some stuff out that you'd be too scared to do on your like work for hire stuff. It made sketching at conventions a lot more enjoyable for me. So when I am doing it, when the occasions when I do draw at shows, I'd always try and make sure I'm messing around or trying something. Hence, Tommy Edwards is encroaching on your turf. What are you going to do? Nothing, Tommy. Well, actually, Tommy drew Moon Knight before I did. He was one of my inspirations on it, to be honest. I'd say this thing, David, for like seeing your commission done on me streaming it, I think is better than if I was doing this at a show, because I just don't think I would be doing a piece as good, and the stuff I do at home is always much better, I think. I also like talking to people at shows, and I always feel rude when I'm really concentrating on a piece. Yeah, Tommy Edwards' Moon Knight page ages back. Oh wow, I have that arc. Nice blind mark. Sorry, get my nose out of frame. Papa Kenesu. Hello. Hey, how's it going? It is going well for me, thanks. I hope it's going well for you. Oh, glad you made it too, Papa. That sounds really weird to say, man. Telling everybody by their screen names is super weird for me. We're getting there. Oh, hey, Tooth. No worries, Tooth. Well, I did 2 last week, so I did an extra one on I did an extra stream on Friday. Because I took, as ever, I took more commissions than I really was able to do, so I had to find a way to make it work. Okay, I'll put the brush away for a bit. David, no, Owen isn't going to, or he can't hear his headphones are on, but no, he's not going to Chicago. He might have if I knew I was doing it earlier and made proper plans, but I kind of only decided about a month ago. And he's got a book he's working on. He wants to make sure he stays on time with it. No, sorry, too. I just saw you retweeted this on YouTube, and thanks for that. But sorry, on Twitter, thanks for that. I was talking to Owen, and he said that he never sees the tweets where I mention I'm doing streams, which is strange. So I think maybe they're just not getting out there as much, which to me defeats the point of using bloody Twitter. But what are you gonna do? Michael, looking forward to your Bloodshot covers. Oh, thanks, man. Cheers. I just finished my second one there the other day. They are for the Brett Booth run, yeah. You would be correct. It is all Heather's fault. Yeah, she asked if I'd be interested, and it was Heather, so I just said yes. She was really great to work with at Marvel, so I was happy to work with her again. You know, the hard thing about this costume is all the various elements is making sure I'm inking the right thing first. So I'm able to make sure that I'm I'm inking the bandages on the rib cages before I ink the rib cages, and before I ink the bandages on the rib cages, I ink the cape. And before I do it, like I probably should have done this first. And then these straps. Minsk, yeah, it's for Booth. That is cool. Tooth, Jim Lee announced last week that he would be cutting back on his streaming big time. We should totally swoop in and fill the void. I don't think there's much demand for me streaming as Jim Lee. I didn't see that he'd announced that though. Did he say why? I assume it's like work. Apparently he's doing it. He was doing it ages. I do enjoy doing the streams, I have to say. It's just, yeah, they do eat into time, though. It's not just the 2 hours, it's the, you know, one clearing 2 hours away from regular work, and making sure I'm nothing else booked at the same time, and yada yada yada. I hate the side of my face sticks in the frame. Every time I set up the camera, every week is different, so I can never know how far my stupid heads get in there. So sorry. I haven't played it. Well, that's not true. I played a video game recently. I played Spider-Man, but other than that, I haven't played games in a long time. Do not have the time. Oh, thanks, Papa. But yeah, I think my Moon Knight days are over. Other challenges to conquer. What was it too? Also, I learned today that Adam Hughes worked for Penthouse for the comic book with 5 issues back in the 90s. It's definitely something to read. I knew about that. I don't think I've seen it. I'm not sure. Did he do comics? Or I remember he was doing illustrations for a good. I saw a lot of those. They're beautiful. Oh, this is what Jim Lee said, is it? For I thought it's celebration. I've decided to continue the streams as just art streams, no more scheduled regular giveaways and the like. More than not, I'll be drawing actual work or charity pieces on the streams going forward as a reason. The pressure of streaming the schedule I can't deliver on expectations on the stream. Well, it doesn't look like he's stopping streaming altogether. It's just that he's fine-tuning it a little, which I think is probably smart. Stuff like this could be overwhelming for sure, and he's got like bills to pay. Yeah, Papa, he did a Betty and Veronica comic last year that there's a trade of. You should pick that up. It's beautiful. Kirby Crackles. Do you know of lots of people in games development? I obviously comics games, people chatting on Twitter, but I guess it's the same with film, TV, the overlap. Honestly, I don't, Kirby. I know like somebody who works in like marketing for a games company. I know somebody who works in like some of the development in the same company, but that's it really. It's a whole other industry. There's some crossover for sure, but I wouldn't really know anybody. Very very few, to be honest. Um, we're here. The Hughes Hubble Christmas special. I have that. Yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough. You have Betty and Veronica. Yeah, I mean any sequential like yeah, the more Adam Hughes, the better in my book. Absolutely. He's I think he doesn't get as much love as he deserves. Like in the '90s, everyone knew how great he was, but and these days I think there's a whole new generation who don't even know who he is, which is a crime. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Sorry to hear that, but yeah, have a good day, man. Thanks for giving it a shot. Dude, I disagree. I think his 90s stuff is great. It's a lot more influenced by. You can see a lot of Kevin Nolan in his work, and I love all that stuff. That Gen 13 mini he wrote and drew is beloved by my generation. Mm. Oh, did he? Sorry, hit the camera there. Did Nolan work on some Penta stuff? Did not know that. I'm sorry for the extra side face. Don't realize so close down to that camera. 2. David, what Nolan did the Moon Knight issue 200 cover? Did he? The original either sold out or out on the price range, so I have to buy it. Yeah, I didn't see that. I might want to buying that, although it's not for my run. But I saw the Sienkiewicz cover, I think, for my first issue of Moon Knight, and I was like, ooh, and I saw the price, like, no, you're getting that birthday. I was going to splash out for Sienkiewicz, though, would have been a good one. Okay, cheers to thought of those in a second. I'll try for a sec. Let's see the images. Papa, it's just I just don't think you need a hairy face popped in the side when you're trying to look at the drawing, you know. Oh, Tooth, this is what you think. This is an Adam Hughes piece. What you're talking about, I guess, earlier on, not Kevin Nolan. And yeah, some pretty hungry of these, still really good though. Did Hughes paint that cover? Always Hughes, Nolan, okay, right. Huh. Never heard of this. What year was that under? It's pretty old. Yeah, Fairchild. What? A redhead in comics? How would that be appealing? Remember a long time ago, oh not too long ago, but Justin Nguyen posted did this piece that was like all the redheads in comics or something, and there was so many of them I didn't realize how many till he aptly illustrated it.
Hey, Buffy, you alright? Okay.
David, I sold my Sienkiewicz Moon Knight 1 variant cover of the asking price got way too high. I think that's the one I was looking at. The asking price didn't go too high. Single issue don't have as much value to me as the original art. I used the money to buy an original Sony Captain America interior page. Nice. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with the Somni page, especially since there's so few out there. Let's see, Louis Roy. Oh, okay, fair enough. Right, where are we now? Methinks. $8,000 for that coverage cover. Oh, that stings. Okay, I see that. That Hughes cover. Must have been young enough. It's not as strong as a lot of his painted work. Oh, 94. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know if he'd done a lot of painted stuff by then, but bloody hell, 94. I was 12 years old. I think we just need to clean this up a small bit. Okay, I'm going to do line work here. Then I'm going to do some washes. Like I said, I don't do washes on the main character when it's Moon Knight, but I compensate by doing it elsewhere. So but yeah, I want to wrap up the line work first. How was your St. Patrick's Day in the end? I saw on Twitter you were expecting madness. Actually, it was fine. It was not the bedlam I was expecting it to be. I didn't go out on St. Patrick's Day itself, but it was the weekend of, and generally in Ireland, you know, it's all the same. The day of, the day before, especially if it's Saturday, which it was. Yeah, I went out with a couple of friends, and it was actually fairly respectable. The town wasn't crazy, where I was at least, and I was in a fairly popular joint that was wasn't too mobbed, so it was actually a really nice, chill evening. To my surprise. First issue, 90-page, Color Class magazine, appeared in spring 94. Alden, Sears. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. Got a bad spin fun. Alright, Papa, thanks for popping in. So they're here now. Just Declan how his go out drinking day was. I think I just said. If you didn't catch it, but it was fine. Nothing too crazy. Which is good because I have so much to do anyway. I have some covers to wrap up, and pages to wrap up, and packing to do, and another commission after this. I'm not exactly sure when I'll get to it. Have to plan it around everything else, really. music over it. Let's see.
Okay. That was a sore one.
Yeah.
Go up in there. Give her affection. Go on. Nice.
Oh dear, what's this? David, do I have a pitch for a Gap American Winter Soldier in mind? Also, if so, have you told Marvel? I have not. I'm in the middle of doing a very rough write-up of I pitched Banshee, a Marvel book, last year, and it got turned down for reasons that were totally fair. But I'm just gonna write. I'm writing a little bit about it, considering it's like St. Patrick's Day yesterday and everything. But I've sent Marvel a couple of pitches about stuff, but it's really tough because it depends what's happening there at the moment and what's in the universe and who's on the book and what's happening in the book. It's gonna be tough. And I don't really see any point in pitching anything to Captain Marvel while Ta-Nehisi Coates is working on it, because it's all locked down. But also, there's no point in me initiating anything at Marvel, which, I mean, they're all been super cool, and like they've made it very clear they're open to hearing stuff. It's just I need to finish Injection really before I start making any attempts at like doing other stuff like that. It wouldn't be cool of me to go to Marvel, hey, I've got this pitch, and then go, well, I can't do it for a year. So I think I'll just start like stockpiling stuff and making notes and just holding on to it till I'm ready. Also, if I had to pick one, it would be Daredevil. I mean, Daredevil would be my top one to do, but Cap would be right. Winter Soldier would be right after that. I know if I did a Winter Soldier one, it would deal more with like all his past atrocities and stuff, and him feeling guilty and trying to deal with his guilt, because I love tortured heroes, so I would torture the crap out of him. But generally, I wouldn't put too much thought into it until it's something I actually know that I'd be working on, because there's too much real estate in my head for stuff to do. Like, I have an Irish graphic novel that I'm writing at the moment, and I have an idea for another one after that, but that wouldn't happen for another like 2-3 years. So there's only so much stuff you can have in your head at one time, or at least for me anyway. I'm not a full-time writer, so I've only so much kind of mental capacity. But I do have ideas for a Daredevil thing to do, definitely. But yeah, I'll keep it in my back pocket till I can use it. What I'd like to do is, well, I don't know. I like the idea of just doing like a self-contained 12-issue run and then just like done. The days of like long arcs on books, they're not done by any means, but not if you want to have one artist draw them all, then I don't think it's the best format. Okay. War of Realms stuff is coming up absolutely nutty. They're putting a lot of series on hold just for the event. They certainly seem to be putting a lot into the event, I have to say. I know some stuff that they have coming up, like not comic series, but stuff they have in relation to the event, and they really seem to be going really far, which, you know, it's cool in my book. It's a Jason Aaron. Like, my only thing is I haven't been reading all of Jason Aaron's Thor stuff, but I've dipped out and in and out a little bit, but I haven't given it proper dedication. So well, knowing the people who are actually doing it, I mean, if it was just an event, I mean, yeah, whatever. But considering the team involved, it's got to be good. I have no problem with events. Just you know, would like them to be good. Can't wait for the second half injection. Oh, thanks, man. Cheers. I'm almost like gagging to get back into it because I am enjoying what I'm working on right now. But I am looking forward to, like, my goal with injection was to tell a longer story, and now I've been telling it for so long. I'm glad we're getting to, like, the next we're over the halfway point, and I'm looking forward to the idea of, like, landing that ending. That's something that I haven't done. But I know very little about the next arc, but Warren sent me a couple of things. I'm like, I don't know how we're going to draw that, but it'll be fun when I do. Okay, right, it's all the line work done, so I'm gonna clean up the rest of this. There was a one shot for Banshee or a full series, also Daredevil will be savage to see. It was a series idea I had. Here's the pitch. HBO's The Wire, but Daredevil is pretty much it. I can't say. I'm working on something at the moment which is, like, as close to that as could be. Like, what I'm doing at the moment, I'd like to do, like, when I come back and do more Marvel stuff, it's definitely the type of stuff I want to be doing, for sure. I'm not really into the idea of doing, like, long arcs on something, but anyway, I'm rambling. But the Banshee, it was a series. I had a series idea for it, and it wasn't a solo book. It was actually a team book. But if you're subscribed to the newsletter, you will see it go out tomorrow. Since I don't do washes on Moon Knight with this costume effect, especially, I try and make up for it in line work. My Banshee pitch wasn't for me to draw it, though. It was for somebody else to draw it. I'll just tell what I was going to say in the newsletter, but effectively, if I was going to draw it, it would have happened, I think. They definitely seemed up for it if I was drawing it. But I think it would be irresponsible of me to take on something like that while injection is still unfinished. For me to write and draw something is a huge commitment, and I personally just think that would be that wouldn't be cool for people who've been supporting injection. For me to just, like, that would require a hell of a lot of time and dedication. The stuff I do in the meantime has delayed me in injection, but at least they're just work for hire art jobs. Writing and drawing a book would be such dedication, and yeah, I just think that would be key. I did get an offer to write and draw something recently. That was very tempting. Because it's definitely what I want to be doing next after injection. I mean, I'd like to work with Warren again. I have something I'd like to do with him someday, but yeah, I just feel like the next thing for me is to write and draw stuff. And I like writing for other people too. Events could be good on time and not have every issue cost $4.99. Yeah, I don't mind if events cost $4.99 personally. If it's an event, it's it's like if your summer blockbuster isn't going to be cheap, but I would make other books cheaper to counter that. If you're selling your event book that is going to sell for like a crap load of money, maybe make another book cheaper so that some people might try it out. But yeah, I don't run marbles, so what are you gonna do? Would I rather write or draw Daredevil or both? Write and draw. I had nice offers to draw it previously, but not to sound like a privileged dick or anything, but I figured if I ever have a shot at Daredevil, I want it to be all me, not art guy, me drawing Daredevil is now that there is not outside the realm of possibility, but there's just some books I'd want to write and draw, and that would be the one. So I kind of decided to turn those offers down in the hope that I could maybe get, because maybe you'll disagree, but it's kind of my feeling is if I drew Daredevil for like 6 months and then maybe a couple of years later I got to write and draw it, I don't think it would be as exciting. But if I get to write and draw it and I've never really done it before, I think that is exciting. If I went back to Moon Knight, well, that would be exciting. I don't think it would be as exciting as when I first did Moon Knight. You know what I mean? And I might be wrong. I might be overthinking it, but that's what you do in the creative industry. Gotta think about this stuff. So I'm quote unquote saving myself for Daredevil, I think. Which, there's zero guarantee I'll actually get to do it, so I could be being totally stupid. Okay, I'm going to do whatever wash is available to do on here. Didn't see. Your favorite villain to draw? That's a good question. All of them really. The villains are kind of more fun to draw than the heroes sometimes. Villains what I like to draw. Damn it, I don't know. I like drawing Magneto. I like him a lot. I guess I did a book of villains with Thunderbolts. Ghost was great. I really like drawing Ghost. Boomerang was great fun. I designed that costume in Thunderbolts, the one that everyone sees him in now. He was a lot of fun to draw. That's an example of a costume that I purposefully made that would be easy to draw over and over again, but was still like recognizable and somewhat iconic. Villains. Sorry, I think I'm coming with that blank on that one, or relatively blank. That was class. I mean, I've drawn him before, pretty big, but we need to work in the right context, like in a very straight kind of drama type book, a massive cartoonish Kingpin. Like Sienkiewicz did it before, like so it wasn't it wasn't like a new thing. In fairness to Spider-Verse, that had been done. I've gotten to draw Doctor Doom. He was fun. Got to draw on Zaz and Batman. That was cool. Don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. I guess it depends on the story. To be honest. Sorry if that's a boring answer. If you would write and draw a book, would you also do the colours, or would someone else be chosen? That's a very good question. Somebody else would be chosen. I'm colouring my own covers these days, and I'm enjoying it, but I'm under no illusion that I'm a brilliant colourist. There's a big difference between colouring a cover and colouring a comic. Colouring a comic is a lot more work, and just for the sheer practicalities of it, if I'm already spending ages drawing it, then I probably wouldn't be colouring it. Plus, there's some brilliant colours out there, so I wouldn't mind collaborating. There's colorists I'd like to work with for a long time, so it would be nice to have an opportunity to kind of collaborate with people whose work I've really liked over the years. Like I know Matt Hollingsworth and Nathan Fairbairn I've known for a long time. I'd like to work with them. I'd love to do a book with Matt Wilson. I've known Matt a long time. So those would be good opportunities to do it. But I wouldn't mind trying to colour a short story. Now and then Marvel ask if I want to do a short story, so I think if that opportunity, if something like that comes up this year and I get asked, I might try colour it too. Because I'm colouring myself on my Marvel covers, I have a colouring rate now for sequential pages, so now that that's established, it will be possible. But yeah, that would depend entirely on if there's a short story that one, they'd ask me to draw, and two, I'd be available to draw. I like the idea of colouring a book of my own, the way like J.P. Leon is doing on Creature of the Night right now. So I definitely wouldn't mind doing it like on a short graphic novel or something. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, I think it's out of that. Brush. Oh hey Espers, how's it going? Kirby Crackles, is it hard doing comics full time in terms of having enough time to watch it for friends and family? Ooh. I watch a few other artists who stream and their workload seems to be pretty intense. Yeah, it is pretty tough, oddly. Like that reminds me, I should call my mum today. But family, I don't really see my family, to be honest. Well, my sister has moved abroad, so that's one. But even if she was here, I'm just so busy, I never really get much time home. I see my mum when I can, but it's generally she might come up here for a reason, or I'll find a reason to go back home. But yeah, it's not that often. And friends, yeah, it's the same. I've like lost friendships because I'm so busy all the time. But thankfully, most understand how much of a workload it is to do comics. It's a matter of priorities, really, I guess. But you know, nobody makes in comics without having to really slog, and it's just a lot of hours in the chair. And whatever relationship it is, be it family or partner or friends, then they need to understand just how much dedication it takes, really. And it's the same in most creative fields too. But yeah, life events, like generally if a life event is happening, your first instinct is like, oh god, I've got a deadline around then, which sucks because you're in work mode all the time. But yeah. But then again, a lot of my friends are in comics too, so they understand. Except Buffy there, she doesn't understand anything. She just wants food. Yes, Buffy is Purple Heart, aren't you? Yeah. Just coldly staring at me. That's true, I will always have Buffy. Well, not really. She'll... when somebody else offers her food, she'll go with them. Yeah, pencils and colouring are well, I mean, some people, it's all one thing. I know some artists work digitally where they treat it all as one thing, but in general, yeah, it's separate jobs because it takes so long. I'm going to do it again. Trying to see if I can trick Buffy and if I can grab Buffy. Hang on. Ha 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 ha. There you are.
How's it going? Okay, no problem. That's good.
Ah, I'll take that. Who's not growling? Oh. Ah, who's a good girl? Want to say hello? Can you see her? No, I can't see the thing. Yeah, there she is. Say hello. Hey. Oh, hello. Hello. Yeah. Good girl. Yeah. Say hello to everybody. Alright. Good girl. At least we're not fighting me this time. There you go. It's the obligatory Buffy cameo. It's the internet, so there needs to be a cat, you know? Yeah, she's very cuddly.
I know either.
Ah, she's sneezing. And do you find attending some conventions help with being more social and connecting with friends in the fields, and you look forward to it? That's definitely the case, Hespers, absolutely. Like I'm going to C2E2 in Chicago, and like, you know, I'm happy to talk to people who are like buy my stuff and sign stuff, and I'll enjoy that. But really, it's about meeting people afterwards for me. Well, no, that's not true. It's both. But like I'll have more fun chatting with people, like people who because you have so many online friendships, and they're all not well and good, but unless you're actually meeting these people in person and having genuine chats, it's it's not the same. So yeah, conventions help a lot. Problem is, so I've said yes to too many conventions this year again, which means it's harder to have it means I'm out of my home for a lot of the time. So I'm aware of like how a lot of people can get all up in their online relationships and not their actual, people who their neighbors and their friends and stuff. But for me, comics are definitely a big social thing. I like chatting and having some drinks afterwards. Some artists will go back to their hotel after the show and do more commissions to make money. I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to the pub. Thanks for the clip, Minx. You've no idea how much joy that's going to bring me later. Yeah, Scott would be right. Like, I definitely go to cons to meet my buddies. Definitely. Like, I'm going to one, it's not announced, but I'm going to a European show during the summer, and the main reason I'm going is because I enjoyed myself in that country last year, but also a friend of mine is going to be there with his girlfriend, and they're really nice, and I'm like, that would be nice to hang out with them in that country. A lot of times I'm invited to shows, I look at who's already a guest, I'm like, oh cool, I get to hang out with, this person. It's definitely a big factor in deciding to go to these things. I'm looking forward to meeting you at NYCCC, but I'm also bad at conversations. Well, look, whatever you do, Hesperus, right? Make sure you say hello, and make sure you tell me that you're Hesperus online, and and maybe I won't catch the name because I'll be used to seeing it on the screen. So just remind me that you watch the streams, and I'll totally realize who you are, and let me do the talking. Okay, I'll ask you questions and ask how you are, and thank you for coming to the show. It would be a pleasure to meet you. I'm actually pretty good for chatting at shows. I tend to ramble on, so in case you haven't noticed from these streams. Michael, any other US shows this year? I'm doing 3 shows this year, Michael. I'm doing New York, and I'm doing C2E2 next week, as you know, and Florida SuperCon in June or July. I can't remember off the top of my head. And those are all my American shows. 3 is really all I can manage in a year. Good, Espers. I will talk to you then. Also, Espers, if you're a lady, right? I tend to be extra nice to any ladies who like my stuff because there's so few of you. Anytime I kind of feel a little bad because if there's ever like a girl comes to my table at shows, I pay way more attention because most of the people who read my stuff are all like beardy guys, which is what I am, which is grand. But it's just nice to know that there's more than one type of person reading your stuff, anyone with a beard that comes to my table, I'm just gonna like David. I'm just gonna like leer at him and judge him and be mean to him. No problem. Kirby, by the way, in case it hasn't said, the drawing was amazing. Oh, thanks, guys. Cheers. Sure, because for me, when I'm doing washes, it really pop. So I feel bad that I don't do washes on Moon Knight, but it was just a conscious decision from day one. No washes, so that he pops. I want him to be alien in the environment, if that makes sense. I was going to make that joke, David, but I don't want you to actually do it. It is a glorious beard, my friend. Also, if you did, Lindsay would probably kill me. It's a cloak. Cloak's fine. And thanks, the capes used to be really hard for me to draw until I kind of I got better at drawing fabric, but also remember to treat them as a graphic element, not just like a literal thing. Drawing a literal cape could be very boring, but you know, like this doesn't make actual sense technically, but as part of a drawing, it, you know, works with the character. What we got? I do a little bit of wash on Moon Knight. I forgot that in his around his mask. There are a lot of good beards in comics, yeah. Not me though. Was it be like Norgal from Headlamp?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, full beard is a look. It's a great look. Unfortunately, I have botched Moon Knight's eye here because the paper has bled on me, but I'm going to go in with white ink and fix that once it's dry. In the meantime, now I'm just going over bits and bobs, making sure that it's all up to scratch. We're nearly here. or there, I should say. Fine. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, there's black right there. Oh, hey, Pascal Knapp. But thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Push these clouds back a bit more, just so the white pops. Just trying to push these values back a little. Okay, just going to take a little bit of that. Being a traditional ink and paper artist, what do you look for in drawing paper? Any certain qualities? Good question, man. I would say, well, one, that it takes wash is pretty important. So like watercolor paper is kind of what a lot of people are going for. So for that kind of heft, it's a little too texture for me though, because it eats up on the lead. So I like there's a Strathmore Bristol 500 board, which is really good. It's hard to get over here though. I tend to use where is it? I mean, I use Marvel paper and DC paper we're given, but if I have to use my own, I'll use this because it's cartridge paper. You know, but it's not too smooth. I know it says smooth, but it's not too smooth, and it's got a bit of thickness to it, so it can take some water. And if I rub out like regular cartridge paper, like if you just rub it out, it'll crease half the time. This actually holds up pretty well, so it's not actual Bristol board, it's technically cartridge paper, but it works for me. Probably going to see some Shalvey head here, so forgive me. Touch up his eye because of that wash bled on it. Okay. Yeah, that's grand. But yeah, that's it. Tathanor. Looks incredible. Thank you. I have bone armor you did for me back then. Oh, cool. You're one of the few people who actually have a bone armor commission, Tathanor. It will be you, somebody who works for Repop, and now David, because I think I've only done, I'd say 3, 5 max, but I'd say probably 3. So I like doing it a lot. It's actually, you can see it takes a lot of work, even though I'm not doing washes on this stuff. It actually takes a good while to do. I'm just filling some of the bits here. Yeah, too. I'm going to rub it. Right, well, definitely rub it out. Those of you who get that reference were here earlier, I'm sure. Yeah, I think this is done. David, I hope you like this. It's always a little unnerving drawing it in front of the person who has the commission, but who's getting it. Yeah, I should mark these not standing safe for work. Thanks, Michael. Cheers. Yeah, I'm sure I'll have a great time. It's I always have a great time at C2E2. Great, man. I'm glad you like it. Just stick the old Declan Shalvey down. Do you want me to write to David on this, David? Or just leave it? This was asked people in the US for rubber. I always got funny looks. Yeah, it happens to me all the time. Where's me rubber? And they're like, excuse me? Right, excuse me? That's how Americans talk. There you go. It's official. So David, if you want me to sign the two of you, I'll do it. I'll do it at C2E2. But I think I'm gonna sign off. I am unsure if I will be doing more commissions. To be honest, guys, I need to take a hard look at my workload when I get back. But I'll definitely give it some thought, though. Let me know, like, is this something you're just curious about now, or is it something you come and see every week? Because they're fun to do, but I that's not enough reason to do them. Oh, yeah, Mensky, you just keep missing out. I sprinkle some dust on it, and it looks it looks amazing. Okay, it looks fine without, says David. No problem. Declan Arnold, current Jason Aaron Avengers run. They have an ancient version of the characters, Mammoth Ride and Ghost Rider, for example. And I also have bone armor, which will fit right in. I think you're right, actually. Yeah. Sorry, Kirby. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for tuning in, Kirby. Cheers. Aspers. Yeah, stream's been great to watch. Thanks, ugly girl. I'm sure you're not ugly. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're enjoying them. You'd watch every week. Okay. That'd be a thing to do where I might take commissions way ahead of time just have something to work on. Or just draw stuff for fun, maybe. That'd be crazy. Minsk, you are over here every week. I appreciate it, Minsk. Alchemist, nice as always. Thank you very much. Right, guys, I'm wrecked, so I'm gonna switch this off now. Thanks a million for tuning in. I'm sure I'll chat to you some stage anyway. We'll see how I'm feeling after my trip to the States. But yeah, take it easy, and thanks very much. Oh wait, just before I go, I realise I've forgotten to do this the last few times. Just zooming in so you can get a better look at this. I've forgotten to do it the last few times, so you can get a proper zoom in. Anyway, yeah. That's it. Okay. And I'm out of here. Catch you later, guys.